I think we can all agree that a lot of us want to follow the proper direction. So, what do you need for that? You need a leader. And why not bring in one of the great leaders in recent Vancouver sporting history, the former captain of the Vancouver Whitecaps, Jay Demerit, joining me here this evening. And, Jay, let's just talk a little bit about your journey and how it relates to what we're trying to do now. Anybody who knows a little about you, they know that put a field in front of you growing up and you would be on it playing whatever sport. How do we get back to that? How do we get kids outside playing again instead of on their phones, on tech?
Well, I think you do that in a number of ways. One is first understand what they want to get outside to do. And again, we're no longer in a time of community centers or public school playgrounds. We don't do that anymore. And unfortunately, that's been taken away by, having parents have to drive 2 hours one way to make sure that their academy program gets served. And again, that creates a certain high performance level, but it takes the child away from the child. And I think we need to find ways to put the child back into children. And again, I don't just mean 4-year-olds, I mean 14-year-olds and up to those types of ages. I think we need to bring multi-activity back. I don't just mean multi-sports. I mean, why can't a kid play basketball and go do art? Why can't he be a rap artist and a scientist? Why can't he? Or why can't she? And this is I think one of the biggest issues is we're not creating complementary programs, and we're certainly not creating well-rounded kids.
And on that subject, complementary programs, just complementary elements of health, physical, mental, spiritual. You've been at the highest level. You've represented the United States at the World Cup of Soccer. So in your opinion, how important to mental health is physical health?
I think they're completely reciprocal. I think you can't have one without the other. I think they feed each other. Again, I wouldn't say one way or the other. I would say that they are reciprocal and they're symbiotic in their relationship. And I think that when you consciously feed both sides of that, you will see more of a holistically whole person. It's just, and the proof is in the pudding. And if you don't do that, then try it. And I guarantee that you will feel better. You will be more clear. You will feel healthier. And then you add things like nutrition and other ways that you can help both your body and your mind. And you're starting to get to this whole point where, you start to take care of self. And we talk about these big issues of what's going on right now. And a lot of it is because of that. We're not taking care of ourselves first in order to take care of our community. You can't do that. First, you got to be whole, or at least close to whole here before you can even start to lead out there.
You grew up in the United States, but you've been with us here in Canada for quite some time. And through your actions, you're committed to making this a much healthier country. And the goal of CHFI is to make this the fittest country on the planet. In Jay Demerit's perfect world, in your ideal vision, what does the leader of this world in terms of spiritual, mental, and physical health look like?
Well, again, I think it's having a conversation where all three matter equally, and we don't take one away from each other to grow the other one. I think that's the first step, is just understanding those three things are very important to really creating this whole self or this whole community or whatever it is we're trying to do to be whole, is that you need all three of those things. You can't just be one. And I think trying to understand that better is certainly a way forward. I think, I see a technological bridge between activities and children and what they're doing now. I think and again, I'm in this space through my youth programs and things like that, is creating a digital bridge of understanding and learning where, I'm not trying to tell you to get off your phone. I'm trying to use it to either get outside or use it to actually be smarter instead of learning how to dance with your friend. I get it, but at the end of the day, why aren't we spinning more to the educational route while staying within an entertainment environment? And this is where I think technology is really going to play a key part in that in the future. And then lastly is how we use that technology to better ourselves. Why aren't we having better mental health exercises online? Why can't I call somebody of a mentorship level? There's a lot of mentors in this space right now. There's a lot of people that would be involved in the night that would easily get on a 30-minute Zoom call with 100 kids tomorrow. But why aren't we doing that? Why aren't we creating those channels? Why aren't we creating a more technologically based society where we can connect a lot more people? And this is where technology can really play a positive part. But at the end of the day, you still have to connect with people. You can't take that away. You can't take humans away. You can't take sports and arts and all these things that connect us as humans. You can't take those away. You can't, because that's really where human connection is based from. It's foundational as to how we create our belief systems. And if we take my interaction with you out of the play because for a lot of reasons, I'm losing half of the ability to be human. And I think that's where a lot of this human future is how do we figure out how to use technology as a betterment for ourselves as humans, but use it as a way that we can come closer together, not spread ourselves apart.
Well, and you mentioned human connection, and that really is a nice segue into the man who's being honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award here tonight. That's Dr. Jack Taunton. How do you think his story and the man himself serves as an inspiration to what CHFI is trying to do?
Well, first and foremost, it's mentorship. If we're not honoring the people that have been there before us, that have experienced such great feats that Jack has, and we're not learning about that, we're not honoring him, we're not educating the people that are now after him to be like him, we're not doing him a service to the service he provided to everybody else. And I think that is why we honor people. That's why we should use mentorship in all walks of life, and because you never know what you can learn from somebody's story, and his story is incredible. His associations have been top class for 50, 60 years now. You know what I mean? To be at that level for so long, what a great mentor, what a great person to lead our next communities. And it starts by honoring them and making sure that they're spoken positively for and represented in a way that we'll use their stories, hopefully, to better our futures.
Very well said, Jay, and people like you, thank you very much for this, picking up the torch. Guys like Dr. Jack Taunton holding it up, passing it on, and guys like Jay Demerit helping make this the healthiest country on the planet.